Okay, so we have started the recording. Let me share the screen. Go to Google Chrome. There we go. Everything look okay?
Yes.
All right, awesome. Okay, welcome everyone to the March 1st iteration of the MicroProfile live Hangout. I just realized, oh, well, actually, before I forget, so a link to the meeting minutes should be in the chat. Can someone place it there if they haven't already, if it's not already there? See if I can find it here. Maybe I can do it. Copy and paste. Here we go. Oh, Emily did it. Thank you, Emily. And it's go ahead and add your name to the list of attendees, the microprofilers, and it is everyone's shared responsibility to take notes. This meeting is being recorded, and along with the chat, which will be uploaded to YouTube. Okay, I just realized that we have coming up a time change. And I think we agreed to, I don't know if it's for the next meeting though, but it is this month. Let's see here, sorry, I'm looking for daylight savings time here in the States. The 13th, so yeah, it will be the next live Hangout. So we agreed, I think, to alternate between, I guess, time zones because EMEA changes at a different time or date than the US for daylight savings time. So this time, or for the next call, I think I'm going to adjust the call so that it will align with this current time slot, but in the EMEA region, okay? And then in the fall, we'll do it the other way around. So it'll, when the time change just don't quite sync, then we will align with US daylight savings time. Okay, so I will update the March 15th. In fact, let me take a note on this. To reschedule next. Needing to align with the daylight savings time. Okay. Also, once a quarter, we have to have a steering committee call, right? That per the charter, and we're pretty much out of runway. We either the next meeting or the meeting after is going to have to be a steering committee call. So I thought next call we can turn into a steering committee call, and so I'll send out a meeting notice on that. And basically, we don't have any. I don't think we're ready for any voting items, but we can do a review as to where we're at according to the project plan. Are there any other topics that kind of make sense to have in the next steering committee call? Budget review, maybe?
Yeah, do we need to review the budget because we have less kind of the budget this year, right?
Okay. All right. What I'll do is I'll send out a notice to the group, Google group, and kind of post this with at least these two items being discussed. Okay. Edwin cannot make it today, but he basically did say that there we still have basically no committee representative right now, and we do have to fill that role. So once we have basically volunteers, I think, and Edwin is writing a committee representative role description still. Emily, what did you have for under general here?
Yeah, so basically is we have the MicroProfile implementation wiki for the to list which runtime implement which like MicroProfile version, which is standalone version. So it's basically people have a confusion regarding that wiki, and some people basically some runtime didn't has stopped putting information in that wiki. So I just want to kind of unify the understanding. And also last week we kind of standardized the TCK process, basically for the formalized certification. And also we are in the progress to create kind of the certification web page on the MicroProfile.io. So it's for like there's a question like on the MicroProfile starter to say, okay, in the like for listing MicroProfile 5.0, so that's what we are trying to add. So it's kind of the which runtime should be listed under MicroProfile 5.0. I think the team are looking for to central place to see which runtime implement MicroProfile 5. If we rely on the TCK certification, because it reads a like a certification request, when approved, that kind of issue will be closed. So it's not very easy searchable. And the other thing is web page is not being created. And also there could be some delay to create a web page between the acceptance and the web page. So it makes more sense. We still maintain the wiki. Let me put a link to the wiki. So it's in the past we just like this is not kind of the going through the standard in the past. We just like to just like John, if you can go to
Yeah, I'm trying to pull it up
click,
here.
Yeah, click the wiki.
Oops.
So I think we just trying to kind of reach a conclusion here.
Well, here's the thing. We need one source of truth.
Yeah.
Right. And I thought that source of truth was going to be the MicroProfile IO web pages. Although that the interesting thing about that is there's probably a little bit of a lag, right? As we open a ticket, right, Ryan or somebody has to then go update the web page, right?
Yeah.
Whereas a wiki you can just do automatically, but there does have to be one source of truth that things.
Yes. Yeah. So this is kind of this is what I'm trying to propose. So we can standardize it. So one we start, obviously we start with the certification request according to our TCK process. Once like being certified, for example, I filed Open Liberty. I filed Open Liberty for the certification. Once that being approved, and then I add that Open Liberty to this wiki. But at the same time, we also file the issue on the marketing and have that Open Liberty added to the new page, but that will take time. I think is the kind of the source of truth is the certification record. Once like for the wiki, the other thing is John, because the web page only lists umbrella release, only lists the platform release. It doesn't include the standalone ones, right?
No, we were going to do the standalone ones too in table format.
Oh, that's a fair point. Okay. Yeah, but in the meanwhile, before that web page is created, I think we should just maintain this wiki. This is we, even though we have that standalone displayed for some runtime, if they only implement a subset of the platform, so their runtime won't be listed on the web page, right? for example, let's just say like maybe it's cumulative, maybe it's just decide to in the future, like just for the 6.0 implement some of them, some particular version.
Right. So that would show up in the table on the website. And by the way, you know, this is probably something that we should discuss. So we have a miscellaneous section. In the way we order these notes, somehow the general section started popping up, right? And there really shouldn't be a general section. Really, these should be falling under miscellaneous.
Okay, sorry about that.
Well, yeah, no, that's okay. Again, I want to make sure we get the status done of all the various topics before we get into any lengthy discussions, right? Because this is first and foremost, I think, supposed to be a status call. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to just cut these out, go down to the miscellaneous section. Somehow it weaved its way in over various meetings. So let's see if we can get to, you know, get through the status of the other things, and then maybe we can dig deeper on this with any time that we have left, if that's okay.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, awesome. Okay, releases. This is the same notes I think that we had last week. Is there any update? I don't think there's anything really that's updated here. Okay. So Emily, I think you already kind of mentioned this. If you want to briefly summarize.
Yeah. So the TCK process approved, so you can access from MicroProfile dash working group to see if you, yeah. So if you click on here, so John, if you click on the hyperlink, the first sentence, the approved TCK process can be viewed from here.
Here. Sorry, it's not
yeah,
very
so
evident on my browser.
That's kind of the current the standard. So just follow the standard. If we like have any questions or any future update, so it's just raise the issue, we can discuss again. So from now on, we will follow this. So basically, in this new TCK process, we discussed in the past that kind of you file the certification on the Eclipse / MicroProfile. So I also added comments to the issue, to the CCR, to the competitor. John, can you click on the issues? Yeah. So for the issues like the 4.1, 5.0 certification request, this is all need to be moved to the Eclipse / MicroProfile GitHub repo. So I already added comment to the outstanding certification request. I already moved the Open Liberty there. So basically, it's the sooner you create an issue, the sooner the lazy consensus will kick off. I highly recommend that any committers, please go ahead to review the certification, put your approval in so that this runtime can be certified as soon as possible. Yeah, so that's kind of all I want to say.
All right, thank you. I need to have follow up with Paul still on having, is there any kind of deprecation process for specifications, right? We covered this last week. I don't necessarily have to, I think, go into any additional depth here. Community outreach. I think Emily, you're the only one here.
Oh, I don't think we have done much in the community outreach.
Yeah, I don't think so either. We have to go back and look at and this is why the steering committee call is going to be pretty good, because following where we are according to the project plan is going to be, I think, pretty important. It's a status check.
Yeah. So for this one, maybe I think the next the next step we need to do is for our program plan for 2022, we need to create an issue on the working group GitHub repo so that we can track that. So I will go ahead to probably lift some community outreach slide and create issues so we can work on that.
Okay. A budget. Typically, Amelia leads the budget discussion. There's really no change from last meeting. Tied into this, though, is the marketing on the marketing side. We are during yesterday's marketing call. We did basically all approve the shirt and the hoodies, and I think that we're going to be sending out an order for that, but that will be from last year's budget, not this year's budget. Okay. So that's from a budget perspective. I think that's really the only next or the only action in planning for spending against the budget. Can you guys still hear me?
Yeah, previously we lost you. Now we can.
Yeah, I'm back. Okay, yeah, sorry about that. My internet is always unstable. I don't know what's going on. I can't seem to fix it. Okay, but I think we are going to have to dig a little bit deeper during the steering committee call and see where we are according to the budget. Okay, from the marketing call, we did discuss a little bit about oops, I think I did this on the wrong line here. This is supposed to be here. Oops. Sorry, I was adding a note and I added it to the wrong bullet. There we go. Ryan still has an AI to mock out the compatibility page that we can all review. He hasn't gotten to it yet. The marketing team, I mentioned this already. We want to send in the order. And Ryan is looking for help in scheduling social media posts for meetings. Right. So he's basically it's a bit of work and he needs help scheduling social media posts for meetings, and I think Caitlin stepped up to do some of those, but we're looking for additional volunteers. So it requires a Hootsuite account, and you would be added to how do I say this? Given access to our MicroProfile Hootsuite account. Okay, infrastructure, website. Well, David tends to lead this discussion, but they've been unavailable.
For this one, actually, is this week I got in touch because there's a community feedback regarding the project page is not rendered well, and there's so many kind of really not very readable. So I got in touch with Summers and Cesar. So last time I think Summers and Cesar worked together to fix something, and then we are going to get together. I just did the propose a few slots. Hopefully we will get together this Friday, and then we start working on this this page. So it's yeah. Is okay. This issue moved to MicroProfile dash website? Yeah. So I will once I share you the call, I will announce on the Google group so that everybody who is interested, please join the call. So during the call, Summers and Cesar will share what they know and then trying to fix it. So I think I don't know much about this website myself. So I will be there to learn as well. So if someone want to learn, please feel welcome to join.
All right, thank you. Technical goals. Any status on that?
Yeah, we did meet last week and discuss the July release and also discussed at length about MicroProfile telemetry and also together with telemetry tracing and metrics interaction and etc. Actually, in today's metrics call, I I joined the metrics call, and then also I told them about the open telemetry metrics is nearly stable, and also need to work out their roadmap or their plan. So they have come up with a few proposals. So they will start write down in a Google Doc and share with the community. Also, I encourage them to come to next week's technical call to talk about it, to talk about their 5.0 plan. So it's, yeah, so if you are interested in metrics, the future, please join next week's technical call.
So I'm trying to take a note here.
Oh, no, not open telemetry metrics.
Oh, open
metrics.
What was it?
MicroProfile metrics.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I misheard. Next week's.
Yeah, so it's one issue we found out the open CNCF open telemetry metrics is stable. Now they put the metrics API together with the tracing API. So it's however, we only support tracing. We don't really want metrics API lying around. So it's I asked the CNCF open telemetry team to remove the metrics. They reluctant to do so because add an extra burden to them. So probably the MicroProfile telemetry team had to do something with it. So it's quite complicated. So we might have to, manipulate the Jiang strip of the metrics API.
So is this going to be part of the discussion during next week's technical call? Okay.
I think it will be next week in the we have been discussing in the MicroProfile telemetry group. Yeah, and then next week we will also mention it as well. We discussed last week briefly.
Okay, any other updates? Oh, any other updates?
I don't have any more to say.
Okay. All right, so I did move the general section down to here. So now so if we go back to the MicroProfile starter discussion. Wants to know where the source of truth is.
Yeah.
To update the starter when needed. So do we, in the wiki, we don't necessarily track anything related to the status of a spec, right? Or an implementation as it goes through and passes the various TCKs. So, I'm sorry, track the status of the implementations that pass the TCKs. So all it is once you pass, then it's added to the wiki, right? But until that point, it's all via issues, right?
Yeah, so that is pretty much up to the implementation. So when they pass the TCK, there's no proof per se. When they pass the TCK, they added their runtime to the wiki. So if you click on the wiki, you can see it's a kind of, we just say, okay, versions back included and passed the TCK. We didn't, basically, I'm searching for, if we say, okay, you need to certify first, and then in that table, we need to say, okay, you after the certification. So if you click the wiki, John, shall I
think I already have it open here.
Yeah, so yeah, scroll down a bit. So here we just saying past the TCK. If we want a source of truth, we might just say, we might need to split this table up. Just lift out 4.1 and 5.0. Make that from now on, from 4.1 and 5.0, and then the label will be certified, right? So previously, previous version, they are not certified. So basically it's not applicable, right? Do you know what I mean? 5.0 and 5.1, we can certify now. Maybe we split this table into two. So it's lift out 4.1 and 5.0 to be a new table. But in the new table, instead of saying past TCK, we just say certified.
Maybe how much discussion do we want to have here? Yeah, I understand the difference between past TCK and certified because we didn't have a certified in the past necessarily. It was assumed that you were certified once you passed TCK in the past, but we didn't have as formal a process as we do now. So I don't know if we need to create yet another table because we already have a table per spec. And it might confuse people reading it, trying to understand what's the difference between passing the TCK and certifying, given the historical context. So I wonder if we can just add past TCK / certified.
Yeah, that's another option. With that / certified, I mean, maybe yeah, that we do. Maybe it's kind of on the heading, just saying kind of the from 4.1 forward, onwards is kind of the, this is means certified runtime. Maybe just say that.
Yeah, 4.1 plus.
Yeah, 4.1 plus. So this is kind of the certified.
We could try that.
So like basically it's the new process is first file the compatible implementation issue first. Once that certification accepted, and then have that runtime added to this wiki, right? Have that runtime added to this wiki, and then is it just file GitHub issue to the marketing and to have that runtime added to the website. yeah, it's I think it's something.
Oh, this is the challenge. Sorry, I was going to see if it was actually listed here.
In
No.
TGK is that process is not listed here.
Right.
Process.
That has to be in the Eclipsepedia, right? The wiki page for the process that we have.
Yeah, maybe we should add the process in the wiki page, because also once the web page is added, up, I think it makes sense to be in the wiki, in the process. In the process, basically is can you go back to the wiki to see? I mean, maybe create a new page to.
So I'm looking.
The steps.
Here we go. No, what did I do with the page? Here we go. Well, we already have a release wiki.
Well, but not can.
But that's more the mechanics of actually doing a release.
Yeah, release wiki is about release spec. This is comes with the implementation, right?
Yeah, no, that's a fair point. That's a good point.
Can you just click on MicroProfile, go to the home page?
Go to the which home page?
If you click after the MicroProfile dash implementation, there's the
oh, here it is. Yeah, I see it.
Maybe it's under implementations. I can create another page. What do you think? Under here and just a certification process.
Yeah, I think that would be helpful. We need to have it documented somewhere.
Yeah, and then we just list all the steps. Like first, you go there and follow the TCK process. And then once it's certified, and then add it to this wiki, and then add create GitHub issue on the marketing, have your runtime added to the website. Right. Okay, I will do that. Can you put on the minutes? So send to me, so I will get that done. Thanks.
Let's see here. So, oops. Create. What do you want to call this page?
Create the certification process.
There we go.
Certification. Yeah, process page. Yeah, thank you.
Document the process. Okay. Okay.
Okay, great. Thank you.
All right, that's all we have today on the agenda. Is there anything else anyone would like to add?
So the other thing, I think, as Roberto brought up in the past regarding the new spec namespace, what are we going to do with the converter spec? So Roberto, do you want?
What do you mean?
So the basically previous, I think you mentioned that if we start with all the Eclipse MicroProfile converter spec, even in the future need to move to Jakarta, that will go through a whole namespace change and etc. Are we going to do something with it?
Well, I mean, that's part of a longer conversation about I'm not sure if John thought about it, because a few meetings ago we discussed about the possibility of having some of those meetings or technical meetings in this EN4J initiative to try to align some stuff with your MicroProfile and Jakarta basis on some conversations. Now, Yes, that's definitely a concern, and it's not only for converters, it's for whatever spec that starts here and then Jakarta wants to adopt. I mean, even though in Jakarta config we're probably going to have something completely different API wise. For instance, if you look into the REST client, if REST client moves to JAX-RS, which is very likely, I don't think that the API will be significantly different, but users will have to go through a namespace change, which is problematic, right? And if we keep going into this direction where we actually create a new spec, then the Jakarta wants to adopt and it has to go for a namespace change all the time. I think that users are not going to understand the reasoning for that. And we're just going to create frustration from time to time. Now, the other concern, and that was where we had the discussion with gRPC, was how do we decide which specification group starts a spec, right? So yes, gRPC did start, it's going to start or started in Jakarta. Now we're talking about convert starting here, but it could have gone both ways, right? So gRPC could have started in MicroProfile and converters could have started in Jakarta, but there doesn't seem to be a process or something well defined that tells us where a spec should fall first.
Well, up to this point, we basically said it's up to the spec proposer, right? Whoever's proposing the spec can propose wherever they want
I know,
to.
but I think that that's not like a good way to decide that, right? Because then it's going to be a lot based on the personal preference of the person, right? So I'm mostly not with MicroProfile, so definitely I'm always going to pick MicroProfile, right? And that doesn't seem to be a good way to decide how a spec should be addressed in either group, right? And as you mentioned, like multiple times, there are significant differences of starting a spec in one or the other, especially regarding costs. Now, we can try to live as we're doing until now, but I definitely believe that at least this should be discussed, even if it's in the end, the decision is going to be, let's just do it like we have done it until now. But at least we have to have that documented. It's just because right now it's just well, it's just something that we know that works like this because we've done this in the past, but there is no real guideline, right, on how to do it. Well, that's my opinion at least.
Yeah. So we're ready to have this conversation now, and we can set up a CN for J call for that.
If you think that this should be discussed in CN for J, I mean,
it's got to be discussed somewhere, and that's kind of the.
But since that was the group where like things that concern both working groups of Jakarta MicroProfile we're supposed to have those discussions. Well, I think that should be discussed over there. So those are like two separate issues. So one is where are the specs going to start, if there's going to be like a process decision for that. And the second one is, are we still going to, well, how are you going to handle the namespaces, right? So in the case where we start something, then Jakarta wants to adopt, and then because Jakarta doesn't want to use a MicroProfile namespace, we don't want to go for the pain of having to rename everything again, right? That's just not scalable, right? We're doing that with config right now. Maybe it's going to happen with REST client, but in the future, if that's going to happen with a couple of more specifications, it's just crazy.
Right. All right. So let me chat with Will on, it seems like we're getting to the point then where we're ready to have this conversation about having a call to discuss it. So I'll take that as an action item.
Okay.
Great, thank you. Thank you, John. Thanks, Roberto. So I had a look at the strategic goal in the 2022. It said quarterly we kind of review quarterly, perform a quarterly review of the program plan progress. So I'm wondering in this in our live hangout and etc. Apart from all this category and etc. we need to maybe in the next time we need to go through the each bullet point to see where we are, or at least have the issue created to the working group GitHub repo, and then start a review it. Take a further look to see where we are. Because one atom, I don't think we even talked about it, about MicroProfile Champions program.
Okay. I'll be honest, I missed most of that while I was typing out the notes. You don't have to restate it.
Yeah, so basically what I'm saying, John, I had a look at the 2022 MicroProfile program plan about strategic goals. One thing is kind of we need to perform a quarterly review where we are regarding this like a program plan.
Well, that's what the next steering committee call subject is.
Yeah, so that's great. The other thing is kind of one thing we haven't even talked about which is the established MicroProfile Champions program. So maybe we can think about think something up regarding that.
Yeah, I don't know if we'll have time to talk about the steering committee call, but having that conversation should probably happen in the marketing team. But
yeah,
it does cross over to the live hangout as well.
Yeah, good point. Maybe it's a kind of have an initial discussion there and then come back there. But I think all the like a goal plan, all the bulletin points need to end up in the need to be tracked. So end up in the GitHub repo.
Yeah.
Yeah, I will volunteer to do like the website and technical goals, and then if like someone else volunteer to cover the others, will be good.
Sorry, you mean for the Champions program?
No. I mean the program plan in the last year we create the GitHub repo or GitHub issue on the MicroProfile Dash working group, and then we track them, and also when we review we just put a comments where we are, etc.
Oh right, okay, yeah. We should do that.
Yeah.
I gotcha. Okay. All right, I think with that we've hit the end of the agenda. And next week is the technical call where the metrics team is going to join and discuss, I think, what their options / plans are. And then in 2 weeks, I will we'll have a steering committee call, and I'll have to send out a meeting notice shortly. All right. Until then, see everyone in roughly a week for the technical call. Same bad time, same bad channel.
Great. Thank you.
All right. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks. Have a good week.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Enjoy the week. Bye.